Join me as I dive deep into the impact of ADHD on my closest relationships and see if I can uncover the truth about how it really affects them. You know, when we think about ADHD, we often focus on the individual's struggles, the difficulties with concentration, the impulsivity, the disorganization. But what about the people around us? How does ADHD affect our relationships with the people we care about most? From romantic partners to best friends to family members, our closest relationships can be some of the most impacted by ADHD. And yet, we rarely talk about it. In fact, did you know that ADHD affects around 8% of adults worldwide? That's a staggering number, and it's likely that someone in your life has ADHD, whether you know it or not. So today, I want to explore the ways in which ADHD can affect our closest relationships, and what we can do to make them stronger. The truth is that ADHD can be a major challenge in our relationships. It's not just about forgetting birthdays or showing up late to dinner parties, it's about the deeper emotional connections we make with others. When we have ADHD, we may struggle to communicate effectively, to empathize with our partners, or to regulate our emotions in times of stress. Let's dive deeper into the specific challenges that individuals with ADHD face in their closest relationships. One of the biggest hurdles is communication. When you have ADHD, it can be tough to listen actively, to remember important details, or to express yourself clearly. This can lead to misunderstandings, frustration, and even conflict. For example, you might forget to tell your partner about a change in plans, leading to feelings of resentment or abandonment. Or, you might dominate conversations, not realizing that your partner has something important to say. These kinds of miscommunications can pile up over time, causing tension and stress in the relationship. Another major challenge is emotional dysregulation. When you have ADHD, it can be tough to manage your emotions in the heat of the moment. This can lead to explosive outbursts, impulsive decisions, or even physical agitation. Imagine you're in a meeting with your colleague, and someone presents an idea that you think is terrible. Without ADHD, you might take a deep breath, count to 10, and respond thoughtfully. But with ADHD, you might blurt out a sarcastic comment, or even storm out of the room. This kind of emotional dysregulation can be really damaging to relationships, especially in the workplace. In addition to communication and emotional dysregulation, there are many other challenges that individuals with ADHD face in their closest relationships. There's the issue of executive functioning. Planning, organizing, and prioritizing tasks can be a major struggle. There's the issue of emotional intimacy, building and maintaining deep, meaningful connections with others. And there's the issue of self-regulation, managing stress, anxiety, and other emotions in a healthy way. I'd like to share some personal stories that illustrate the various ways ADHD can strain relationships. One of the most powerful stories I've heard is from a woman named Sarah, who has ADHD. She told me about how her impulsivity would often lead her to interrupt her partner during conversations or to blurt out sensitive information without thinking. Another story that really stuck with me is from a man named John, who has ADHD. He talked about how his lack of emotional regulation would cause him to lash out at his loved ones, even when they were trying to help him. These kinds of stories really drive home the importance of understanding and communication in relationships affected by ADHD. I've heard from many experts that one of the biggest challenges of ADHD is the feeling of shame or guilt that can come with it. When you have ADHD, you might feel like you're a burden to others, or that you're somehow broken. But the truth is, ADHD is not something to be ashamed of. It's a neurological difference, and it's not a reflection of your worth as a person. I've also heard from many people with ADHD that having an open and honest conversation with their loved ones can be a total game changer. When you can talk openly about your challenges and your needs, you can start to build a more supportive and understanding community around you. So what can we do to better navigate the challenges of ADHD in our relationships? One key strategy is to focus on building empathy and understanding. When you take the time to understand what it's like to live with ADHD, you can become a more patient, supportive, and loving partner. Another strategy is to establish clear communication habits. This might mean setting aside regular check-ins, using visual reminders, or even just making a conscious effort to listen more actively. By putting in the effort to communicate effectively, you can reduce misunderstandings and build a stronger connection with your loved ones. Finally, I want to emphasize the importance of self-care and self-compassion. When you have ADHD, it's easy to get caught up in feelings of shame or inadequacy. But the truth is, you are not your ADHD. You are a complex, multifaceted person with strengths and weaknesses, and you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. In conclusion, ADHD can certainly complicate our closest relationships, but it's not a guarantee of failure. By building empathy, establishing clear communication habits, and practicing self-care, we can navigate the challenges of ADHD and build stronger, more loving connections with the people around us. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and click on the bell for more health tips and updates. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What are some of your experiences with ADHD and relationships? Do you have any tips or strategies that have worked for you? Let's keep the conversation going, and don't forget to check out my other videos on mental health topics.